I'm Lindsay. Welcome to this Vinyasa yoga class. Let's begin in a comfortable seat. Go ahead and sit cross-legged on your mat, and as you come into this shape, take your hands and externally rotate your thighs so that you begin to have more space to root down through your hips and your sits bones. You just might take a little rock and roll as you come into that. A little bit of movement and fluidity through the spine. And then eventually allowing yourself to come to this place at center where your shoulders are over your hips. Your hips begin to root down and your spine lengthens up. You might find a gentle tuck in your chin, allowing for a bit more length through the back of your neck. And just allow your hands to rest on your lap. And begin to notice your breath. As you start here, you don't have to do or change anything about how you're breathing. Simply notice the rise and the fall of your belly. You may start to notice this rhythm. Inhale, belly rises and expands. Exhale, belly softens and falls. Inhale, belly rises and expands. Exhale, belly softens and falls. Continue following this rhythm in your own breath, your own body. If it's in your practice to set an intention, I invite you to take a moment and do so. That intention might be a word, might be something that you're working to bring into your life. Perhaps it's a person or a dedication. Whatever that is for you today, bring that intention to the forefront of your mind and begin to connect it to your breath. As you inhale, bring that intention into your physical being. As you exhale, soften and release that intention out. Inhale fills you up with intention. Exhale softens and shares that intention out. Giving yourself 2 or 3 more rounds of breath. And as you find that next inhale, slowly begin to blink open your eyes or find that point of focus just in front of you. And as that next inhale drops in, let your hands reach up and out overhead, taking up space, gaze lifts. And then interlace your fingers here and give a reach up towards the ceiling, letting more space come into your rib cage. You might even give a little shake here. And then just let your shoulders soften, but try to keep that space in your ribs. Inhale here. As you exhale, take that right hand down to your mat, stretch up and over to the left. Stretching with your left hand to the right, dropping that left hip. Rolling that left shoulder back, gaze lifts, inhale fills you. Staying for that exhale. Inhale, bring yourself center. As you exhale, twist to the left. Right hand comes to that left thigh. Inhale brings length to your spine. Exhale, gaze over that left shoulder. So you find that next inhale, let your gaze turn forward, your shoulders turn forward. And as you find that inhale, reach up and out once more, interlace your fingers, find that lift, giving space to your rib cage. Keep that space, but let your shoulders soften. Inhale here. Exhale, left hand comes down, stretch up and over. Rolling that right shoulder back, gaze lifts, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, bring yourself center. Exhale, take that twist to the right. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. As you find that next inhale, let your gaze come forward, your shoulders come forward. And go ahead and bring your hands parallel to the ground and take your right hand over your left. And either give yourself a bear hug here, letting your hands reach for your shoulder blades, or find your eagle wrap, so twisting your arms so your palms face. As you find that, let your next inhale, press your hips forward, either fingertips or elbow points reach up and back. And then as you exhale, start to round your spine as you bring your elbows in towards your belly and just give a sway side to side. Head and neck are heavy. Giving this gentle massage to your shoulders, your head, your neck. And as you inhale, begin to rise back up. Let those fingertips or elbow points reach up and back. And then unwrap your arms, sweep them up overhead. Exhale, hands through center line of your body. If you need to give a little roll through your shoulders here, go ahead and do that. And then bring your arms back parallel to the ground. This time that left hand is gonna come over your right. Again, that bear hug or that eagle wrap of your arms. As you inhale, pelvis presses forward, fingertips or elbow points reach up and back. And then starting to find that round of your spine, that drop of your head and neck, and that sway of your torso. As you come into that next inhale, slowly start to rise back up through center. And then start to unwrap your arms, sweep them up and out. As you exhale, take it into your tabletop. So bringing your shoulders over your wrists, spreading your fingers wide, getting as much space between each of your fingers as you can. Your hips are over your knees. And then start to find your cat-cow. So as you inhale, your belly drops, your sits bones move in opposite directions as your gaze lifts and your collarbones widen. As you exhale, round your spine, let your gaze drop towards your navel. Inhale, belly drops, gaze lifts, cow pose. Exhale, spine rounds, gaze drops. Cat pose. And just allow yourself to continue here for a few rounds, following your own breath, body cycle. And as you find these shapes, there might be other things that your body wants to sway through your hips. And sink back into child's pose. A flip of your wrists. Taking about 3 more breaths, using them as it serves you. And then we'll meet in tabletop, and we're gonna thread the needle here. As you inhale, reach that right hand towards the ceiling. Let your gaze lift as you exhale. Right hand comes under left, right ear comes down to the mat. Some options here for that left hand. It can stay exactly where it is. You can start to reach that hand out in front of you. You can start to reach that hand overhead.
Or you can take this into a bind as you wrap that hand around your lower back. And if you have that bind, think of this as an opportunity to roll that left shoulder a little bit more open. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, slowly start to unwind any variation you have, bringing that left hand back down. Right fingertips reach up, gaze follows. Exhale, right hand comes down. Reset, cat-cow, organic movements through your spine. And then taking that over to the left. So that left hand is going to reach, your gaze follows. Exhale, left hand under right. Left cheek comes down to the mat. And then same options for that right hand. Maybe it stays where it is. Maybe it walks out in front of you. Reaches overhead. Or moves into that half bind. And if you find that bind, really think of peeling that right shoulder open. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, slowly unwinding. Coming out the way you came in. Reaching that left hand up. And then placing it down. Again, taking any reset here. Sway through your hips. Cat-cow. And then begin to tuck your toes. Press your hips up and back. Finding your downward facing dog. And as you do, take about 5 breaths here to use as it feels good in your body. So that might mean bending through one knee and then the other. That might mean finding some stillness. Wherever you're at, spread your fingers wide and send that energy into your finger pads and that L shape of your index finger and thumb. Think about letting your head be heavy as your heart presses towards your thighs and your heels reach towards the ground. Always know you can keep a gentle bend in your knees, and that's just going to give you a bit of extra space in your low back. And then we're going to start to roll through some plank waves here. So as you inhale, ripple forward, high plank. Shoulders are over wrists, belly engages. Think about pressing that space between your shoulder blades up towards the ceiling and your gaze is between your thumbs. And then as you exhale, send it up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, ripple forward. Exhale, send it back. Inhale, high plank. And downward facing dog. Take these at your own pace. They can be as fast or as slow as your breath is moving. Thinking of this as a variation of cat-cow. And if you ever want to grab a push-up when you're in that high plank, woo, you might do that. Take 2 or 3 more here. And then as you're ready, find that downward facing dog. As you take that inhale, reach your right leg long, kick that heel towards the back room, all 5 toes point down. That leg is really strong here. And then open it up, bend that knee, take that right hip on top of your left, press evenly through both of your hands. And then start to lengthen that right leg once more. As you exhale, sweep that foot between your hands into your lunge. And then we're going to step that left leg to meet our right, top of our mat, forward fold, head is heavy, everything hangs down. As you inhale, slowly begin to stack your spine. Let your arms stay released, your head and neck stay released. You might take a sway side to side as you come up. Letting your head be that last piece that comes on top. As you arrive, maybe giving a little roll here through your shoulders. And reach
reaching your hands up and out overhead, interlacing your fingers at the webbing and just beginning to willow out your spine here. So just taking movements that feel good. Swaying side to side, finding little back bends and forward folds here. And your next breath or so, coming back through center, really rooting through the ball mounted heel of your feet. As your fingers reach up, your shoulder blades soften down your back. Inhale here, exhale up and over to the right. Use that right hand to pull your left hand a little bit deeper. As you roll that left shoulder on top, maybe gaze lifts towards the ceiling. Inhale, bring yourself center. Exhale up and over to the left. Using that left hand to guide your right hand a bit deeper. Right shoulder rolls back, gaze lifts. Inhale, center. Release that grip of your hands and let that exhale give you a back bend. Goalposting your arms, widening your collarbones, reaching your heart up. Inhale, arms come center. Exhale, take it down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, plant your hands. Step your right foot back and then your left foot coming back through that high plank. Inhale here. Exhale, drop your knees. And we're gonna bring our belly down to the mat. Think about sending your elbows back, brushing your biceps, triceps to your ribcage. Belly comes down, tops of feet press down. Inhale, cobra pose. Peel your heart off the mat. Keep your neck long, gaze is just in front of you. Exhale, heart releases down. Press back, child's pose. Big toes touch, forehead comes down to your mat. Give yourself 3 breaths. Your inhale, finding that downward facing dog. From here, reach that left leg long, kick through that left heel, all 5 toes point down, really strong through that left leg, and then go ahead, peel it open, bend that knee, heel falls towards your sits bone, press evenly through both of your hands. Inhale, extend that leg long, exhale, sweep that foot between your hands for your lunge, and then step that right foot to meet your left, top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, take your halfway lift, iron out your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands reach up and out, overhead, high prayer, gaze follows. Exhale, hands through heart center, palms shine forward. Take your hands behind your back and interlace them at the webbing. Take a bend in your elbows. Roll your shoulder blades down your back and then start to reach your fist back. Your elbows may or may not get totally straight. That's okay if they are, if you keep a little bend in them here. Think about lifting your heart. As your heart lifts, let your gaze lift with it. Gentle bend in your knees. Inhale. Exhale, take this into a forward fold. Let that fist fall forward. Let your head and neck release. Inhale. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, find that light. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back, left foot, then right foot back at that high plank. Option to take it down, knees, chest, chin. Or maybe you lower, one long line of energy, sending those elbows back, working to have your whole body touch down at the same moment. Tops of feet press down, heart peels off the mat, cobra pose. Maybe you breathe yourself a breath higher. Exhale, heart releases down. Either pressing back through your child's pose or tucking your toes and coming up the way you came in. So you might use your knees to help you come into that high plank and then take it up and back, downward facing dog. From here,
we're gonna walk or jump to the top of our mat. If you wanna take that jump, give a little bend into your knees. Send your hips even higher. Gaze between your thumbs, and then spring forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands reach up and out. Take that high prayer. This time as you exhale, chair pose. Weight comes into your heels. Toes are gonna get soft, maybe even dancing off the mat. Think about lengthening your tailbone. And as you send your hips back, think about lengthening the crown of your head forward. Inhale here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back, right foot, then left foot, back at that high plank. Okay, so option to take either variation we've taken already, or maybe lower halfway into your chaturanga. Press through into your up dog, and take it up and back. Downward facing dog. As you arrive, give yourself those 3 breaths. Your inhale, step, jump, walk, whatever serves you, make your way, top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands reach up and out, overhead, take that high prayer. Exhale, sink it back, chair pose. Find that spot you left off. See if you can breathe yourself a breath deeper. Inhale, find a bit more length through the crown of your head. Exhale, a bit more depth, sinking back. One more inhale, you got it. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back, left foot, then right foot, high plank. Take any variation we have taken so far. Always knowing you can press right into a child's pose or a down dog. And then finding your point of rest, child's pose or down dog, and taking your 3 breaths. From that down dog, we're gonna make our way once more, top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands reach up and out overhead. Take that high prayer. Exhale, sink it back. We're in that chair pose. From here, we're gonna move to our high lunge. So weight is gonna come into that right foot. Left foot is gonna start to get light, and step back into your high lunge. As you arrive, let yourself take whatever movements you need to ground here and feel stable. So we want that right knee over our right ankle. You might take a little bend in that left knee, just helping get your shoulders over your hips if you feel your torso tilting forward. Finding that engagement through your thighs here. Reach your hands up overhead, fingers reach. Shoulder blades soften. Okay, lengthen that right leg and then tip to that right heel. Toes are gonna flex towards the ceiling. Feel that engagement through your thighs, that lift up. Inhale here. As you exhale, ground that right foot, bend into that right knee, and then we're gonna take it down. Dip that left knee and roll to the ball mound of that right foot. Thighs are working hard here. Find your breath. Inhale, come back up. Establish your high lunge. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, T-twist. Arms are coming parallel to the ground. Keep that bend in your right knee. Reach through those right fingertips, maybe so much that that right hand reaches for that left thigh and that left hand starts to reach up and back. Finding the back bend, perhaps imagining a little string at your heart center, pulling your chest towards the ceiling.
Inhale here. As you exhale, take it down. Left hand meets the mat. Right fingertips continue to reach. We're in our easy twist. Think about pressing that left hamstring towards the ceiling and then rotating your heart. Reaching through those right fingertips. Inhale. Exhale, left knee comes down. Option to stay here or take it into your infinity pose. So if you're taking it into your infinity pose, begin to kick that left heel towards your sits bone. So maybe you're right here and this is where your infinity pose lives today. Maybe that right hand reaches for that left foot. Maybe that feels really far away. If you have a block or some books, it can always be nice to grab that. Just gives a little lift and for me makes this shape a little bit more accessible, especially on this side. Once you find this, use your strength of that right arm to pull that heel back towards your sits bone, but then kick into your hand with that left foot. Roll your right shoulder open, gaze lifts, inhale. As you exhale, slowly release that grip. Send your hips back into your half splits. Root that right heel, roll that right hip back and find some length. Again, if you have blocks, you might grab those here. Just brings the ground a little bit closer. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, soften your chest down. Let your head and neck become heavy. So you find that next inhale, start to send a bend back into that right knee. Walk your hands forward, tuck through those back toes. Step back into that high plank and then option to take your vinyasa here. So either pressing into child's or down dog or flowing through your cobra or chaturanga. Taking that point of rest, child's pose or down dog. Give yourself 3 breaths. As you inhale, coming back through your downward facing dog once more. From down dog, step, jump, walk, top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands reach up and out overhead. Exhale, take it back, chair pose, send those hips back, reach the crown of your head forward. Weight's gonna move into that left foot as we come into our high lunge. Right foot steps back. Again, take that time to root and ground. So that left knee is over your left ankle. You might take a little bend into that right knee, allowing your shoulders to come over your hips. Find that engagement through your thighs. Lift your hands overhead. As you find that stability, start to lengthen that left leg. Roll to the heel of that left foot, engage those thighs. Flex those toes towards the ceiling. Keep finding your breath. And then start to ground that left foot, bend into that left knee, take it down. That right knee is coming towards the floor as you roll to the ball mound of that left foot. You got it. And then slowly start to come back up. Reestablish your high lunge. And then we're gonna take it into our T-twist. Give yourself that inhale to prepare. Exhale, T-twist. Arms are parallel to the ground. Again, keeping that bend in your front knee, really reaching through those left fingertips. So much so, you might tip it back, left hand to right leg, right hand reaches up and back. Place that string at your heart. Let your heart reach towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, take it down. Right hand meets the mat. Easy twist. Left fingertips reach towards the ceiling. Press into that right hamstring. Rotate your heart, lift your gaze. Inhale here. Exhale, drop that right knee down. And then again, option to stay right here in this easy low lunge twist, or to take it into your infinity pose. So you might start to kick that right heel towards your sits bone, and then reach for that foot with your left hand. So again, If a block comes in handy, grab that block. And then as you find that bind, use the strength of your left bicep to pull that leg towards you as you actively kick into that foot, rolling your shoulder, lifting your gaze. Inhale. Exhale, slowly release. Take it back, half splits. Roll back through that left hip, lengthen your spine. As you exhale, hinge. Maybe grab those blocks once more. Give yourself that little assist. As you inhale, start to walk your hands back either side of that left foot. Tuck through those back toes. Find that high plank and take your vinyasa. Move through to your point of rest. Down dog or child's pose. Give yourself 3 rounds of breath. As you're ready, find that downward facing dog. We got one more sequence to play with here. So as you inhale, make your way, top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands reach up and out, overhead, take up space. Exhale, sink it back, find that chair pose. We're gonna take it into revolved chair pose here. So inhale to prepare. As you exhale, hands through heart center. Take that twist to the right. Left elbow outside of right knee. Pressing palm into palm as you draw that left hip back. And then think about rotating your rib cage. Maybe lifting your gaze. We're gonna take this into our revolved lunge. So as you're ready, that weight comes into your right foot, that left foot starts to get light, stepping back and finding that revolved lunge. And again, if you need a couple of steps to get there, do that. Take your time to find your grounding. As you take that next inhale, we're gonna spiral open, warrior 2. Readjust your feet as you arrive. As you come into your warrior 2, think about dropping that back hip and lifting that front hip. Right knee tracks over your right ankle. Arms are engaged, actively reaching in both directions. Inhale, start to lengthen that front leg, tip it back, reverse triangle. Let that inhale bring space to your rib cage. Keep that space as you start to reach it forward. Triangle pose. That right hand can land on your thigh, your shin. If you have a block, you might grab a block. Wherever that hand is landing, think about keeping it light. So you might even play with having that hand dance off your leg, really engaging your core, and then using that space between your torso and your leg to rotate so you can get that sense of your heart reaching up. Inhale here. As you exhale, start to bend into that right knee, extended side angle. If you have that forearm on your thigh, think about pressing your torso away from that thigh. You can take that right hand, reaching bicep by ear, rotating that shoulder open. Inhale. As you exhale, round it down. Take your wide-legged forward fold. Let everything be heavy here. You might grab for calves, ankles, your mat, wherever you're finding that grip. Use it to pull your torso towards your thighs as you let your head and your neck release.
grip that you have, bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, and then planting that right hand just below your face. Reach that left hand up towards the ceiling, finding a twist. Now, chances are that that right hip wants to kick down and that left hip wants to pull back. So see if you can drop that left hip down and draw that right hip back. Inhale here. As you exhale, that left hand is coming under your right. Grab that eagle wrap as you rise and make your way to a high lunge. Woo, at the top of your mat. Let yourself find your grounding here. Find that engagement through your thighs. And we're gonna move into our eagle pose here. So that left leg is gonna come up and over your right. Those left toes might act as a kickstand, so they might stay rooted down on your mat. Maybe those toes dance off the mat. Maybe you take that left foot and wrap it around your right as you sink your hips back. Draw that left hip back, that right hip forward. Inhale, find a bit more length. Exhale, sink a bit deeper. As you find that next inhale, slowly start to unwind. Let that left foot ground down. Arms are gonna sweep up and out overhead, high prayer. Exhale, take it down, forward fold. Inhale, find your halfway lift. Exhale, plant, stepping back right foot, then left foot, and taking whatever vinyasa serves this moment. Finding that point of rest, 3 breaths. As you find that inhale, take your downward facing dog. One more side here, even ourselves out. Your breath, step, jump, walk. Top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands reach up and out overhead. Take that high prayer. Exhale, sink back. Chair pose. Okay, we're finding that revolved chair here. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, hands through heart center. Take that twist to the left. Right elbow hooks. Draw that right hip back, press palm into palm, and then weight starts to move into that left foot. Right foot steps back. Let yourself take those breaths you need to find your grounding and rooting here. Press up into that right hamstring as you rotate your torso, maybe gaze lifts. As you inhale, we're taking that warrior 2. So spinning around, arms reach in opposite directions. Check in with that left knee, tracking over your left ankle. Dropping down through that back hip, lifting through your front hip. And then letting your hands reach in opposition here. As you inhale, begin to lengthen that left leg. Tip it back, reverse triangle. Inhale, give yourself space in your rib cage. Then take that space with you as you reach that left hand forward. And again, that left hand can come to thigh, shin, maybe it grabs a block. But again, keeping that left hand pretty light, thinking about rolling that right hip open, toning through your core, and letting your heart reach up towards the ceiling. Inhale here. Exhale, bend into that left knee, extended side angle. Keep thinking about rolling that left sits bone under. As that right hip opens up, you can take that right bicep by your ear, giving another little stretch into your rib cage. Inhale here. Exhale, round it down. Wide-legged forward fold. Let everything be heavy. Grab for what's accessible, calves, feet, mat, using that grip to pull your torso towards your thighs as your head and neck release. And then as you find that next inhale, walking your hands back under your shoulders, this time grounding that left hand. Right hand reaches towards the ceiling. And again, check in with your hips here. So think about rolling that left hip back and dropping that right hip down. Inhale here. Exhale, right hand under left. Grab that eagle wrap as you rise up and find that high lunge top of your mat. Okay, we're moving into that eagle. Find that engagement through your thighs. Weight is moving into that left foot. Right foot is coming up and over, sinking down. Again, those right toes, they might act as a kickstand. Maybe those toes dance off the mat. Maybe they work in towards the bind, wrapping around that grounded ankle. Wherever you're at, think about rolling that right hip back, that left hip forward. Inhale gives you length. Exhale sinks you down. And on that next breath, slowly start to unwind. Root that right foot, reach your hands up and out. Inhale. Exhale, take it down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, left foot, then right foot. And take any flow that serves this moment. And then begin to walk your feet and your hands towards one another, coming in to a forward fold in the middle of your mat. And then walking your feet out wide on your mat, coming in to a squat, a malasana. And you can always choose, if you have a block, to take a block under your sits bones here. If you don't have a block and want some support, grabbing some books to take under your hips also work really well. And this just can relieve tension or holding or tighten it if you have a lot of tightness in your hips or knees or ankles. It can just give some nice support there. So as you find this malasana shape, think about bringing your elbows into your knees and then really pressing your knees into your elbows, elbows back into your knees. Same thing with your palms. Lengthening your spine, letting your tailbone drop as your crown of your head lifts. We're just going to take this into a twist here. So let that right hand start to come down towards your mat. You might have that full palm of the ground or your fingertips. And then start to reach that left hand up, rotating your heart open. That left hand can stay here, continuing to reach, or that can come into that half bind, similar to what we found at the top of class with thread the needle. Finding one more inhale here. Staying for that exhale. And as you take that next inhale, releasing back through center. And then we'll take that over to the left. Letting that left hand or fingertips root down. Letting that right hand start to reach open, lifting your gaze. Again, keeping that right hand extended or shifting it into that half bind. Taking it around the small of your back, rolling that right shoulder open. And lifting your gaze, lifting your heart. Inhale here. Stay for your exhale. And then slowly start to release out the way you came in. Coming back through your malasana. And then go ahead and just take a seat on your bottom. If you have a block, go ahead and just move that out of the way. And then we're gonna come into a double pigeon pose here. So start by taking that right shin parallel to the top of your mat, flexing through those right toes, and then taking that left heel on top of your right knee. And as you come into this, you might take that little rock and roll again, find your sits bones, find that rooting. This can be pretty intense and a deep opener on your hips. So if this is feeling like a bit much for you, always option to extend that right leg long. Just gives a bit more space in there for your hips. But if you're feeling good here and you want even more, you might begin to walk your hands forward. If this is feeling good and you have blocks or books, you might take those and let your forearms root down onto your blocks. Forearms can also come to the ground here. And if this is feeling good, start to let your head and neck become heavy. Think about allowing your shoulder blades to melt away from the midline of your back as you give yourself 5 breaths here. Stay here, you might find that you can move a little bit deeper. And if you find that, option to take those blocks down. And on your next inhale, slowly start to make your way back up. With care, unwind your legs. You might give yourself a little windshield wiper here, sweeping your legs side to side, or taking your legs long and just giving them a little shake side to side. And then we'll take this over to the left. So that left shin is going to come parallel to the mat. Flex those toes back towards your knee. And then take that right ankle on top of your left knee. Again, as you come into this little movement side to side. If this is not feeling great, again, always option, extend that left leg long. Give yourself a bit more space in your hips. But if you're here and you're wanting more, maybe you start to take that hinge forward, arms walk in front of you. You might grab those blocks. Again, just setting yourself up on this side in whatever way serves you, knowing that this side might live very differently than that first side. You might find that it's a lot more tense, a lot more held. You might need a bit more support or not be able to move quite as deep, or maybe you find you have a lot more space and availability. Just allowing yourself to meet your body on this side where it's at, and allowing yourself to come into those 5 breaths. As you find that next inhale, slowly beginning to take yourself back up through center. Unwinding your legs, and again, taking whatever you need here. Resetting, getting some movement and blood flow back into your legs. And then we're gonna take a reverse tabletop pose here. So extend your legs long, flex your toes back towards your knees, and then take the palms of your hands behind you. And really think, just like in plank pose, about pressing the ground away from you so you get this lift through your chest. Begin to engage through your core and start to press your hips up as your toes reach towards the ground. Widen your collarbones. Inhale, reach your hips a breath higher. Exhale, slowly release your hips down. And then come through your staff pose. So grounding your sits bones, flexing through your toes. Always option to take a little bend in your knees here. Legs never need to be totally straight. So just playing with that bend in your knees can also help find that roll in your pelvis. And then from here, reach your hands up. Inhale as you exhale, hinge at your hips. Grab for what's accessible, feet, mat, ankles. As you come into this shape, you might find that you want to lengthen your legs out a little bit more or take a deeper bend into your knees. So again, meet yourself where you're at here and find 5 breaths. As you inhale, slowly roll up. And then we'll make our way to our backs. So rolling down vertebra by vertebra, or just rolling to your right or your left side. And as you come down, bring the soles of your feet to the mat, finding your constructive rest shape. Letting your palms face towards the ceiling, little tuck of your shoulder blades under your body. And just allow your body to meet the ground. Notice the weight of your bones, the work of your muscles. As everything begins to spread and soften. And then take your knees into your belly. Just give yourself a little hug in, a little roll side to side. We'll take a final twist here. Goalposting or teeing your arms, and then letting your legs just fall over to the left. Letting that right shoulder melt. Gaze can be overhead or over that right arm. Eyes can soften or close. Let that next inhale take you through center. That exhale, release your legs over to the right. Gaze overhead or over that left arm. Left shoulder softens. Inhale, bring your legs back through center, finding one more hug in. And as you do so, if there's anything else your body wants, perhaps a happy baby, taking your hands to the outside edges of your feet, or peace fingers to big toes, giving a little roll side to side, extending one leg and then the other. If there's any other shapes, movements your body wants, go ahead and take a few breaths. for those movements as you prepare your body for rest. And as you're ready, begin to make your way to Savasana. Extending your legs long. If for whatever reason this doesn't feel good on your lower back, always option to take that constructive rest shape, soles of your feet on the mat, and knees can knock together. And just allow your body to soften, to become a bit heavier. Allowing yourself to give up and over any sense of effort or doing. Taking these next few moments to simply be. Slowly begin to find some tiny movements in your fingers and your toes. Maybe rolling your head side to side. Stretching your arms overhead, finding that morning stretch. As you're ready, bringing your knees into your belly, giving yourself a hug in. And then letting yourself roll to the right. Coming into fetal pose. Letting your head rest on your arm. Giving yourself one more full breath cycle here to return to your intention. As you find that next inhale, begin to press yourself up, finding a comfortable seat. Letting your eyes remain heavy or closed. Your body soft. Bringing your hands to heart center. And then up to your third eye center, that place right between your brows. Connecting your heart's desire with your mind's intention. The life, the love, the teacher in me bows to the life, the love, the teacher in each of you. Namaste. Thank you all for practicing with me. I hope you have a wonderful day.